watch out. Winter crash the party overnight, going down to the mid-30s. It's 3:29.
Nobody had to tell your grandparents not to drive while using their typewriters. Why should it be any different for us kids on our cell phones? Distracted driving was the cause of more than 3,000 deaths in 2022. Come on, we're smarter than this. Let's put down the phones and focus on the roads. Drive safe, everybody.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Chicago's news, traffic, and weather station, News Radio 105.9 and WBBM News.
Good Saturday afternoon. I'm Sarah Herrera, and these are the top stories on News Radio WBBM.
This is Mike Krauser. The government releases the names of 600 people taken into custody during Operation Midway Blitz. Only 16 are considered to be a high public safety risk.
President Trump says he's sort of made up his mind about whether to attack Venezuela. More fears of deadly downpours in Southern California. Plus,
this is Brandon Eisen. Police warn of crash and grab burglaries on the west side.
WBBM Sports. Right now, you can hear some games on 780 AM. All the news continues nonstop on 105.9 FM. And the Blackhawks host the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. Right now, it's 3:31. A list released by the Trump administration of more than 600 people detained by federal agents during Operation Midway Blitz shows that only a few are considered by the government to be dangerous criminals. WBBM's Mike Krauser has the story.
Of the 608 people on the list from Mexico, Venezuela, and other countries, just 16 have been identified as high public safety risk. We've heard repeatedly they're going after the worst of the worst. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem repeated that while speaking to reporters in Gary last month.
We absolutely every day are focused on arresting the worst of the worst and those individuals that have been targeted for their criminal activities. But remember, if you come into our country illegally, you are breaking our laws.
A retired special agent who worked with Homeland Security for 25 years, Eric Ballier, told CBS News Chicago the data confuses the public.
To go after violent criminals, that's a lot of work, that's a lot of effort, that's a lot of time. The department and the agency doesn't want to expense that time, that strategic and operational planning to actually get the worst of the worst.
The government has reported more than 3,000 arrests in the Chicago area. Mike Krauser, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
President Trump is playing golf and enjoying a Saturday at his Mar-a-Lago property. But on his plate is the possibility of airstrikes directly on Venezuela to target drug cartels on land. CBS News correspondent Willie James in Mon has more from West Palm Beach.
President Trump says he, quote, sort of made up his mind about what action he'd like to take against Venezuela. Aboard Air Force One on Friday, the president would not elaborate on his decision, but his statement comes just days after he was briefed on options for potential operations in Venezuela, including the possibility of strikes on land.
The U.S. military says its 20th strike that happened Monday on a boat accused of transporting drugs killed 4 people in the Caribbean Sea. The Trump administration has insisted that American warships are focused on stopping the flow of drugs into the U.S. The atmospheric river conditions, pouring rain all over Southern California, are bringing warnings to areas where hills had wildfires early this year that destroyed trees. The lack of them could lead to floodwaters and landslides as the rain continues to impact the region. KCBS TV reporter Lodzaila Calabreo is the Pacific Palisades Hill where the wildfires were severe 8 months ago.
Pacific Palisades areas in the danger zones near the burn scar area under evacuation orders. Officials asking people to please heed those warnings. Why? Because there could be mudslides and landslides. We are talking about saturated hillsides.
The Weather Service warned that along with potential mud and landslides, the rain and strong winds will probably result in travel delays at airports, flooded roads, and swollen rivers and creeks. Meanwhile, in the Middle East, more hostage and prisoner exchanges have been made by Israel and the Palestinians.
Israel has returned the bodies of 15 Palestinians to Gaza, as confirmed by officials at Nasser Hospital in Khan Yunis. The move is part of a ceasefire agreement and follows the return of the body of an Israeli captive by militants. Since the ceasefire began on October the 10th, Israel has received the remains of 25 hostages, with 3 bodies still in Gaza. For each hostage body returned, Israel releases 15 Palestinian bodies. Meanwhile, the UN Human Rights Chief has condemned recent attacks by Israeli settlers against Palestinians in the West Bank, urging an end to the violence. The UN said more than 260 attacks by Israeli settlers against Palestinians and their property in the West Bank were recorded in October alone. I'm Karen Chamas.
Chicago police issued a warning about a crash and grab burglaries that are happening on the west side.
At least 2 incidents have been reported in which a group of teens drives a stolen vehicle through the front of a retail establishment, taking clothes and shoes once inside. The first last Sunday, just before 5 a.m. on West Madison in Garfield Park. The next this past Monday in the Humboldt Park neighborhood around 4 a.m. in the 800 block of North Kedzie. Police are looking for tips and say that video surveillance is often very helpful in these types of investigations. Brandon Eisen, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
3:35, low gas prices, traffic and weather coming up next.
At the Endeavor Health Cardiovascular Institute, Roger didn't just get the mitral valve replacement he needed. From his top-ranked surgeon to the patient tech who made him comfortable and put on the Blackhawks game, he got the care he deserved. Here, we know your heartbeat and what makes your heart beat. We treat you like the most important patient we've ever had. Because you are. Find expert cardiovascular care near you at endeavorhealth.org. Your best health is our endeavor.
Turkey Tuesday, coming in a few days, every hour on Tuesday.
held top 10 placements across 5 decades.